Welcome to this episode of Spoiler Warning. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to reading the Absolute series, and I was like, I have to start reading these to do the videos. So I finally started reading Absolute Batman, and it did not disappoint. I'll be dropping Absolute Batman, um, Absolute Batman's recaps and commentaries fairly regularly until I've gotten caught up, as well as Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman commentaries. So look forward to those as well. Yeah, but I mean, you're here for Absolute Batman issue 1. Get into it. Spoilers ahead. Absolute Batman issue 1 starts with us seeing somebody on a motorcycle driving through Gotham at night. In my mind, I thought it was Bruce, but it's actually Alfred Pennyworth. The Absolute version of him is currently active as an MI6 agent instead of the same backstory of where he is a former MI6 agent. Time has passed and he's been Bruce's butler for years. He's in Gotham because he's assigned to monitor a group called the Party Animals, who happen to be a group run by the Black Mask. And there's another player, which is Batman, and he's not to engage the Party Animals, but if the other player intervenes, he's to engage the other player. From there, we see Croc's Gym, which is run and owned by Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc. This is before his transformations as just a regular dude. We see a man who looks like in any other version of a DC comic would be Bruce Wayne. He's talking about, this is my city, or this is your city, this is your night. And I was like, so you see him hitting a punching bag, but then we're introduced to absolute Bruce Wayne, who looks, he's a beefy boy. He looks like he's got a good 20 to 30 pounds of muscle more than the dude next to him, and just shows the difference between the two, which I feel like was done like a red herring just to show you like this is absolute Bruce Wayne. He destroys a punching bag, which wasn't like, yeah, you got to pay for that. What's interesting is then Waylon invites him to poker, and he's like, hey, Eddie, Harvey, and Oz are going to be there, and I'm even trying to get Selena. And I was like, wait, that means they're friends. They're friends. I was just like, oh man, because it really sucks. Because you know the path that all of them go down. You have Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, Oswald Cobb, aka the Penguin, Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, and also Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, and then Selena Kyles, aka Catwoman. Knowing the path that they're going to go down, them being Bruce's friends, it's just like, that's going to really suck. That's going to be hard for him. But with, like, I didn't even have that much time to process that before it shows a picture of them as kids. They're childhood friends. So everything I was saying, like, oh, that's going to be tough for him, is so much worse because these are his childhood friends. We see Salvatore Maroni and Carmine Falcone meet up with Black Mask, where they're discussing the Party Animals. So Salvatore and Carmine talk about how they have large families with cousins and etc., etc. And then Black Mask reveals that he has a collection of masks, and then reveals he has masks made from Maroni and Falcone family members. He's only missing 2 masks, which is Sal and Carmine. Sal and Carmine get killed by Black Mask's personal henchmen, bodyguard people, which ends the absolute version of the Maroni and Falcone family right there. I feel like in a lot of media or stuff lately, is I feel like in a lot of older or early year Batman stuff, you see Falcone and Maroni have more prominence where they're around for a while. But as the criminals get more, we'll say, extra, with powers, augmentations, just gadgets, they're the old, like the old guard. They're the old classic criminal. And when Gotham becomes something different, where Batman, like only Batman can face them, or the Bat family, yeah, they end up being kind of just long forgotten and get overtaken so easily. So it happens a lot of people where they're like, oh, no, go away. Time for retirement. Yeah, Batman suits up, and then we see a city hall with Mayor Gordon, which is interesting. So he's mayor in this version. He had been commissioner before and was also partnered with Bullock. Bullock, who is the commissioner now. There's a town hall with people being mad at all the violence because the party animals are a violent group, causing wanton destruction, killing women, children. They're brutal. And then people in the crowd are talking about how the previous mayor, none of this would have happened under him, even though that Mayor Underhill, or Mayor Hill, sorry, because I feel like Underhill is a different version of that, but I'm pretty sure that should have been the name, was suspected of corruption. Gordon's just saying, like, hey, I want you to hear. There's a woman who speaks up for Gordon, but is interrupted as the party animals and start shooting up the place. Gordon is shot. And Barbara actually happens to be there because she's one of the police guards for the town hall. There, they are surrounded. They lock themselves in the room. They're in another room. They're surrounded. And as Barbara peeks out, Batman says, "Whatever you hear, do not open the door." And then it's Batman time. You get to see absolute Batman in action for the first time. And he is brutal and effective. He uses what in issue 4 as bat thumbs, which are these like whip-like things which you can use to grab on to things. And so he grabs onto some of them and proceeds to beat the shit out of them until he works his way through them until he works up to the guy who decides I'm him, and it's like, this I've killed many with this hand and this axe, blah 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 blah. So if you don't want any of this, get out of my way. And Batman's like, all right, bet. And reveals that his bat symbol is an axe and proceeds to unhand the man. That I didn't provide that image because check out the issues. Hopefully after this you check out the issue because, oh, it's good. All this is happening while Alfred is monitoring him and is like, oh, okay, you're effective. Almost like a taxation. But if you're a true taxation, you would lead a trap. Batman at this time is basically telling them to get the fuck. And as they run away, trap sprung, and Alfred realizes like, oh, you really are a taxation. Batman is confronted by Alfred, who comes at him with a specially made shotgun that is only 3 in the world of DC 34. Batman easily disarms him and then gets the fuck out of there. After Batman disarms Alfred, we see Alfred basically studying Batman, where he goes through his history. It's like, this is how you became Batman. This is, he excelled in college. He was on football, but he got an injury, but it looked like, he's like, I've seen people fake war wounds, so this was fake, because he's like, you were building something. And then we also see where Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne, is killed at the zoo. Throughout the comic, we see flashbacks of a school trip that Bruce took with his childhood group of friends, the future supervillains, the future DC supervillains, which he takes because he won for an award for an architect project that he made. Joe Chill is shooting up the place, and Thomas acts quick, gets the children to safety, and locks them behind the door, and then tells Bruce the same thing that Batman tells Barbara after her father's shot. Whatever you hear, do not open the door. What I find interesting about that moment is it creates this parallel from where Bruce is probably thinking, because Barbara's experiencing something very similar to him in that moment, where that's like just something that gets brought up, so they create that parallel. But what I also realize is I think that is the seed for absolute Barbara Gordon to become absolute Batgirl, because it's the same moment of having this tragic thing happen. Fortunately, Gordon survives, but to sort of be powerless and have somebody have to tackle this dangerous thing that's happening. Fortunately, they have Batman on their side. And in Bruce's case, his father sacrificed himself to protect them. But I think that parallel is interesting because it shows you it's like a little kernel toward what could be. From there, we have Alfred just monitoring Bruce Wayne's life, where he gives details to how Bruce Wayne sort of builds what he built as an architect, what he learned, and all the things he's done. Um, After checking around, he also points out that Bruce does have a weakness, or Bruce and Batman does have a weakness, which is Martha Wayne, who was the lady at the town hall that spoke up for Gordon. And so, but he doesn't do anything that what he's pointing out, like he could easily take Batman down through Martha. Eventually, you have Batman in his lair, one of his lairs, because remember, he's not a billionaire in this version, just a regular architect at age 24. Well, not regular. He has near genius level intelligence, which I feel like near genius is to give them wiggle room. If it's like, oh, he didn't figure that out. Oh, he's like, whoa, I'm not a genius. I'm near genius. He uses buildings that he actually worked on for like really rich people that he knows they're just hollow investments, so they never go up to the top floor or anything. So he uses those as his like ruse. There, after Alfred has tracked Bruce down, he comes to basically say like, "Oh, this isn't personal at all, but this is the end. Like, I got you, Batman." Batman then shoots Alfred in the face with a shotgun. Don't worry, it's only a flesh wound. He survives because he modified it, and it shoots like little bat, like we'll say darts, like are in his face, and then he steals Alfred's motorcycle and jumps off the roof with it. And there's like a nice shot at the end of that. But it's a really good issue. I enjoy it. I'm excited for the other issues. Yeah, it's so good. I was excited to read it. It did not disappoint. I'm looking forward to issue 2 and be back with a video of that, as well as coming up with videos of Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. So look forward to those. Thank you for watching. See ya.